Good morning. Welcome to Butte Mountain Homestead. I'm going to do a little bit of a partial garden tour only because it has been rainy and windy the last 3 or 4 days, and I haven't been able to get out here and do a lot of things that needed to be done so that there was a proper garden tour in its entirety. So you're going to see some things that are overgrown, some stuff that needs to be put in weed buckets or in the compost pile, flowers that need to be deadheaded. You're going to see a lot of that stuff, but there is beauty there. The sun's trying to come out, and I'm not going to walk on the rocks, but I do want to show I did get the privacy screen done. That's the back side. Let's see. Ugh. And here's the front side. And then I went and got the little vine that I need to plant, hoping today. I don't know if the ground might be still too wet, but it is all done. My husband was able to finish helping me, so that was a big help. So today is a gorgeous day. I'm just going to stay out here, and I have a few things I'm going to show you in the garden that I need to get finished. Hopefully the ground, like I said, is able to be planted because I bought a lot of stuff to plant. And there's some stuff that's tired, but the smell from these ebb-tide roses is just absolutely wonderful. So they're doing really good. Irises are looking a little tired, but the dark gladioluses are all up. The rudbeckia has decided to spread. See, there's stuff that's spreading, so I'm liking that. The calendula, I'm not sure if I'm going to get in there and deadhead it or not because it's so full, but I might try before it gets hot. But I need to take the stems off the tulips because the tulips have lost all their blooms. Yeah. So what you do is you just cut off the stem and you leave the foliage until it dies back because the foliage is what feeds the bulb. So all I need to come through and cut all these back all over the whole yard. And then those are tropical colored gladiolas in there. So that ought to be pretty. And the rudbeckia is coming up. The calendula is doing a second flush. So I think we might have some really good seasonal interest starting. I'm going to take note of gaps as they happen all the way through until fall. I mean, obviously when the irises are done here and cut back, the stems cut back, there'll be at least the greenery. But I'm hoping some of the calendula will pop through. Yeah, there, oops, shadow. There's rudbeckia coming up. There's hollyhocks. A lot of the hollyhocks that I transplanted are doing good. The two that I planted aren't doing so good, so I'm going to just leave them. Hopefully they'll do their thing. The Gara I think is going to do pretty good come late summer, just because I transplanted it kind of late. But here's some columbine. These are not my seedlings. I'm going to intersperse my seedlings so that then this all fills in. And then I'm going to get mulch in here today too. Now that the ground can be worked, one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to run drip out to here so that I can use a landscape staple to get it into the ground. Because when it's hard, there's no, I mean, I bent 3 the other day trying to put the drip down over where that privacy screen was. And yes, there are some weeds in the dry creek bed, but there's also a lot of plants coming up too. So I'm just kind of pulling what I can. But yeah, I just need to go around and do some cleanup. The lawn needs to be mowed, but that's okay. Yeah, I need to deadhead all of the tulips and daffodils. I'm going to do that today too. And magnolia. And this is one of the Litchfield Angels that I transplanted out of the pot from last fall into the ground, and it's doing amazing. So it's doing better here in the few short months than it did in 2 years in a pot. So this is one of the David Austin roses, Litchfield Angel. This is going to be, wait till you see what's in the potager. There's only 5 of these that are 4 years old this month. So you you just wait to see what this grows up to look like. So I'm going to go ahead and pause you, and I'll see you in the garden in a second. Real quick though, this is the Desdemona David Austin rose, and this smell is absolutely, so when I walk out the porch, I smell this in the ebb tides, which is exactly what I wanted to do. And eventually, when the magnolia is in bloom, I'm going to want to be able to smell the magnolia blooms and the roses, and just to be able to enjoy that from the porch, or our bedroom window faces north, so it'll get all these smells as well. So it didn't like the heavy rain, so it's kind of droopy. But yeah, it's going to bloom pretty good. So I'm going to take you out to this prettiness right here. Okay, here's our little shed garden. I used to call this the tulip border, but when I realized the tulips were kind of finicky, I had to change the name. But the calendula has popped up. This lantana, I'm not liking the slow growth on that, so we'll see if I keep it or not. But the echinacea's popped up. The poppies, these are all the poppies that I transplanted. So all the poppies and calendula in here I transplanted. They were the volunteers in the potager. So they're all coming up wonderfully, actually. I need to deadhead these tulips. And there's some ranunculus in there that I need to pull. They didn't like, it got warm there for a week or so, and it didn't like it. That plant right there is one that I had transplanted that was on the other side of this ceanothus, and I had moved it because it was being dwarfed by it, but it bounced back. So I think this next year I'm going to move the other two over in here somewhere also. But yeah, I just need to come in and just do some deadheading and some brush cleanup. The peony that I planted not too long ago, that's got a lot of new growth on it, so that looks beautiful. Don't know if it's going to bloom, but at least it's beautiful. That is just a monster. I wanted it moved, but I kind of like now that I cut it all the way back and it grew back kind of in a shrub form. The only thing is it has like a yellow dusty bloom, which it might be okay. I think when the lilac decides to get big and grow, that I think it will be a good space for it here. The echinacea, like I said, it's all bounced back. There's some calendula in there, some osteopermum, African daisies. And this is a little limelight hydrangea. So that's going to have the pretty lime green. I just like the difference in contrast. And then with these spiky, and these are pinnacle blooms. And then let's see, got lots of experiments going on over here. 3 tomato plants left, but the Verbena bonarisi is blooming pretty good, and got some pretty things out here in the fire pit area. This is that Allen Chickering salvia. It's a different variety. This thing has turned into a very large plant. Absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I planted that, it was like in a 1-gallon pot. It's now over 6 feet wide. And then that buddleia right there. And the blackberry I planted is doing good. The little top that I planted next to it, I was hopeful, but it didn't turn out so good, but that's okay. And let's see. This blackberry has got a lot of blooms. So I just need to get this over and tied up. This is a thornless blackberry. So yeah, I just need to tie it up because it's wanting to bounce out of there. So I'll do that later. Put lots of blooms on there. And let's see. There's one of those other ones. That's the plant I'm talking about. So the one I pulled was way under here somewhere. So I'm going to pull these two this next year. And look at that. Look at this. I love this view. I absolutely love this view. So hang tight and I'm going to take you around. Oh, real quick. Let's see, was it a month or so ago when I planted this bay laurel? Look at all that new growth on there. So since I'm out of bay leaves in the kitchen, is I'm going to pluck off later on. I'm going to have to make a list, otherwise I'm going to squirrel all day. But I'm going to pluck off some of these lower leaves and get those drying so that I can refill my stash in the kitchen because I want to do broth in the next couple weeks. But we have some stock. Doing really good. Once I hooked it up to drip, which I think I forgot to shut that timer off. Okay, well, everything's got an extra drink of water. That's great. I shut all the timers off, but that one, oh well. Anyways, it's gotten lots of extra water. And then there's this one back here. I need to maybe move this table. It's not getting as much sun as it maybe should. So, like I said, the irises are looking a little tired, but at least I still have something to show you. And then look at this. This is the Eden Rose, Eden Climbing Rose. Absolutely gorgeous. Then this is its third year. Well, I planted it last year. So this is starting of its second year. This is starting its third year. Absolutely gorgeous. So also on the list today is to get the other arbor that looks just like this put together and put on the other gate. I know I keep saying it, but the weather kind of boogered me up there a little bit. And then I did make a mistake and I thought I was buying the exact same rose for over on the other arbor. This is an Eden rose and I bought iceberg, but it is a white rose, so that's okay. So this is, like I said, absolutely gorgeous. I did a short on it not too long ago up close. But there's more irises. So let me take you in here and I'll show you everything a little bit. Okay, you'll have to excuse the chickens. They think they're going to be getting their breakfast, and I'm going to have to get it to them in a few minutes. But look at this. That is a hedgerow of Litchfield Angel Roses. That is 5 bare root roses that was put in 4 years ago. I can't even walk down that path because of the asparagus and the roses, which I'm not sad about. But we have penstemon, and we have celery, we have oregano. I need to get that trimmed back and get that on the dehydrator. I have a random onion. I have pincushion flower. It's going to be blooming here pretty soon. That's a kind of a light purple color. And then this, I think, it didn't like the cold. And I can never remember the name of it. And then I have a lot going on out here, so this is real life. Lamb's ear is, getting ready to bloom. Very pretty. There's phlox, the poppies, echinacea, allium. These are pretty. That's a foxglove that's kind of stuck down in there in the middle. I don't know where I'm going to plant that. It's kind of a big plant. I just need to be able to watch it. I was going to put it around the corner over there, but I can't see Lewis when he goes over there, and he can't eat on that. It is toxic to animals, so it won't kill him, but I don't want him to get sick either. So I just have to be able to watch him when he's out here. The parsley is going to seed. I lost that battle. So I might harvest what little bit is on there and then pull that plant. Random poppy underneath the chair. Digging up this budley and I'm putting the lilac here. Putting the lilac in its spot. I'm going to move that out to my husband's west side garden. And then the other day I was able to get some of these planted. I have more to plant today. So it's a delphinium, a snapdragon, a salvia, the lilac. I did leave some of the osteopermum so that they could bloom and kind of drape over. If they don't do that, then I'll just pull them. But I'm going to get this all mulched. I had a load of mulch delivered the other day. The lilac or the lavender is bouncing back. I thought I lost it, but I didn't. And then there's a dahlia. And then it's just going to repeat. And luckily with the rain, I can get most of this pulled. I was going to have to water it because it was getting too tough to pull. But then get that done today. And then get some mulch moved in. But look at these roses. I'm 5'2", and that is pretty much level. I mean, I'm looking at it with my eye, but there's one down there that's almost 6 feet tall. These are only supposed to get 5 by 5. I dare to say these are from that all the way over to there. I would say that's 6 feet and then some. So if you want to know what these do, like I said, this was 5 bare root roses. And they're crowding the great myrtle over here. Look at that. Oh my gosh. There's a mom. Yeah, I can't even see this side from the other side and vice versa. I'm a little bit of a downhill slope right now, but yeah, these irises are doing really good too, but they're a little fizzled out. Hollyhock volunteers everywhere. These things are getting pruned before that happens this year. I'm not gonna worry about that. So I might leave that one because I do like the shade that they provide. Like these along here, they do provide shade because this faces west. So, and then look at this. Look at this. Oh my gosh, look how tall that is. That is definitely 6 feet tall. Like I said, I know I'm on a slope, but these are absolutely gorgeous. Not too strong of a smell. There is a little hint of rose smell when you walk into the garden. But this mom is going to have to eventually get moved now that these things are living their best life. That is for sure. I do fertilize them in the early spring or when I prune them, like in January. I do a granular, like a systemic flower fertilizer and bug getter. After that, I do just fish emulsion about every 6 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks. I don't know how I'm going to do that this year. I really don't. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to figure it out because this is also prime rattlesnake grounds under there. We are in rattlesnake country, that is for sure. Northern California, Zone 9. And we do get the rattlesnakes. So yeah, I'm trying to walk through here. I mean, I never dreamed this was going to look like this. This is absolutely amazing. I mean, I had hoped that it would create like a hedge, but nothing like this. Absolutely beautiful. So the hollyhocks are getting ready to bloom. The chickens are talking to me. They want their breakfast. These hollyhocks are all volunteers. There's a volunteer. That is not a hollyhock, so I need to pull that today too. And I don't even think I'm going to make it over there today. I might just to, oh, the peaches are kind of big, so I might, but just you'll have to ignore the weeds. This is the country, and we're getting something here in a few weeks that's hopefully going to take care of this business. That's hollyhock. Here's my Meyer lemon. Some blooms on there. The asparagus. Holy smokes. Okay, now let's talk vegetables. The beans are growing up really good. These are pinto beans. There's black beans down there. Looks like I have pretty good germination, and they'll grow up this trellis here. The onions, I think by cutting off those bloom heads, you know, where they wanted to flower, I think I saved them. So they look like they're bulking up really good. I'm going to try to go through these beds a little fast, but not too fast. I did plop my basil down in there. The birds or something has really liked my beans. Huh. But that's a green bean, that's a green bean. These are potatoes. These are sweet peas. Like peas you eat, not the flowers. Oh, pretty. We have peppers. I did get a few additional from, I think, the big box store because they had them. And I do want an abundance. So because I'm out of freezer peppers. I do have some dehydrated bell peppers, but not that many. I have a couple jars of pepperoncinis left. 1 jar of jalapeno cowboy candy. I don't think I have any canned peppers left. I'll have to check up top. But anyways, we're getting down to almost running out. So by the time these start producing, I'll probably be out. The 1 volunteer garlic. Tomatoes are, I don't think they've been liking the cold. I am going to pull these blossoms off though. When they're this little or this young, I pull the blossoms. That way they can develop more roots. I've been pulling off the bottom branches so that the water splashback doesn't get them, because we're supposed to be almost 100 next weekend. So yeah, see with these blooms, I just come in and just snap them off. I don't know if that's the right thing to do, but I think I've saved all of the onions by doing that. So that celery I haven't cut back yet, just because nothing's big enough yet. I do need to do some weeding out here. And yes, girls, they are yelling at me, that is for sure. I need to come out and prune this tomato too. And I think I'm going to leave those just because these are 2 weeks ahead of the others, and this is a cherry tomato. So I kind of want a cherry tomato. So I think I'm going to let that one do its thing. Yeah, but the white and the yellow onions, these are the yellow onions, those are whites. They're starting to bulb up. They still have a little ways to go. This is a regular tomato. I think this is a celebrity. So that's a sun gold. So I'm going to let them go ahead and flower and do their thing. But yeah, they're bulbing up pretty good. Pretty good. The red onions, they are bulbing up magnificently. Look at that. Look at those. Those are a little close, but that's okay. And they have not tried to flower. Not at all. Yesterday I came out and I needed one. I was out of red onion in the house for a sandwich, so came out and I harvested one. But yeah, they're been really good. Let's see. So I like planting them in the late fall like that. Kind of gave me a head start. I know not everybody can do that, but we are able to with our weather. I don't know that tomato is going to make it. I don't think it's going to be very strong. I'm going to leave it for now, but it's an Amish paste. It just doesn't look that strong, so I might pull it. I might pull that and put it in a pot, and then when the greenhouse cold frame gets up, I might try to overwinter it. We'll see. That way it still gets another chance. Let's see. These potatoes are doing really good. I think I might be a little late to the party, but I do have some raised bed mix to pour on top of them. I should have did it probably a week or so ago. That rain and sunshine, they kind of liked it, so I might just mound it up on the bottom. We'll see. So yeah, only 3 didn't take. That one, and that one. This one finally is. Look at how little that is. But we have all those extras over there. Oh, I don't remember what I planted here. Not sure. I'm going to find out. I'm hoping, I mean, that looks kind of like a cantaloupe, maybe? Cantaloupe seed? I have no idea. I was hoping it's a sunflower, but I don't think it is. So I might just let it do what it's going to do. If it is a melon, I'm not sure because I don't want it to interfere with the peppers. That pepper's a little weak, but I'm going to leave it and see what it does. Yeah, I wasn't predicting the cooler weather. And so I don't think the peppers like me too much for it. Hopefully they didn't get stunted. Excuse me, I got a little bit of a tickle, but here's up close on those onions. So, and these aren't even looking like they're getting ready to die back. So I always say I'm going to wait, but I don't know. The tomatoes aren't growing, and this next week they're gonna bounce. So I don't want to disrupt the tomatoes too much when I go to harvest the onions. So we'll see. And these are just, like I said, they've got some little bit of tip damage, but they're not starting to yellow at all. And here's the garlic. It looks like it's wanting to maybe start to die back. The leaves are yellowing. I don't know if that's from the rain. We got a lot of rain this year for us. Oh, I pulled a garlic the other day because, and this is so funny because I was just watching the night before, literally the night before, on Roots and Refuge, Jess was out foraging with Will, her employee, and they came across this fungus that's referred to as, I guess, dog vomit. I don't like the name, but anyways, literally the next day I came out, this whole section right here was this stuff, was this dog vomit. I mean, the bugs are liking it. So I read it to make sure it wasn't poison per se. And it said just to let it kind of decompose in there. But in the meantime, before I realized that, I thought maybe this was like rotting or something or creating a reaction. So I pulled it and it's fine. So I'm going to have a little tiny garlic bulb inside. So I just left it. But yeah, the tomatoes are doing really good in here. Yeah, I think these should be harvested in about June. So I think they're thinking about it. There's some really nice size, you know, right down there. Those are nice size. There's some little guys too, but that's okay. It's okay. They will all eat. And I think I had put one back in, and I think it's doing okay because I can't tell which one it was. So these tomatoes are doing good. The chard's doing good. And carrots, a little tiny basil. The dove kind of tore up one, so I had to leave it. But the carrots, I left enough to where I can come out and just grab some for what I need for the meal. And then Lewis likes carrots, so when he's a good boy, I pull one out and rinse it off and give it to him. He doesn't eat the greens, but he eats the carrot. And the volunteer chamomile, I come out every night and pluck off the ones that are ready, and I have a little basket. But I want to show this color from here. The sage is in flower, and the thyme is in flower, and the chives. So this is a pretty little purpley haze corner. Oh, and I have plenty of all of this, so luckily I don't need any of it right now. I'm curious to see how much thyme sows itself, though. I did find the other day, right in here, probably 4 little volunteers over here. And I had collected thousands of seeds from here, which I obviously don't need, so I need to quit collecting them because I don't need them. I mean, I'm going to save them just for security, food security purposes, but that's chamomile too. Then the green beans are all doing really good. There's lots of new growth. The few that the mice hadn't eaten are in there. Oh, I see there's, ooh, that's a slimy mushroom right there. I'm not going to touch it, but it's slimy. That's gross looking. But when there's fungus in the soil, you're doing good stuff. Sorry, I had my finger over. I had a little bit of a coughing fit there. I had to pause you, but I need to get the bindweed out of here. One thing we struggle with is bindweed, or we call it morning glory, the weed version, but yeah, see that volunteer, or that seed green bean right there? Something ate the leaves off of it. So that's what happens when there's young seedlings. The critters just eat them. So I need to leave them in the greenhouse or in the shed longer, which I'll be able to do this next season when they're in the greenhouse. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. This is long enough. But there's the mint and rosemary. Oh, now that is a sunflower. I did put that one in. But regular mint, what is it? Oh, it's not lettuce. Where's the tag? Oh, it's just spearmint. Then that's pineapple mint, rosemary, marjoram. It's going to go to flower here pretty soon. Yeah, I've been using my homemade poultry seasoning. Pretty awesome stuff. And lemon balm. And then here we are back again. Oh, and there's still more calendula volunteering. And some poppies. I've been pulling them because I go to use them and I forget, so. But here's this view. Yeah, see, you can't even see anything over on the other side. But this lime tree, I do need to do some pruning on there. So anyways, guys, it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And then here's the view from that side. I mean, that look right there is just so nostalgic to me, of just a climbing rose over a picket fence. I mean, come on. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Beauty and imperfections all in one. Oh, and the cow. And the baby cows. We've been having some babies. We're not spring calvers, we're fall calvers, but that's what happens when bulls get in. So they're all enjoying the weather too. So won't this be absolutely glorious when this is all filled in? Oh, just that view. So, and over where the greenhouse is, oh, I guess I can go over there real quick and show you. So because the soil is nice and workable, I was given some bricks, some nice big bricks, old bricks. And the path from here to, right, that's the door to the, oh, actually it's right there to there is the door to the greenhouse. So that's going to be a brick path. So I think between, if I have time today, but between Monday and Tuesday, I think is it on being able to work this easily, as I'm going to try to dig down, at least dig out this dirt so that I can get the bricks in there. Not necessarily get the bricks in there, but at least dig down to where I can put them in there. So, and then there's 2 hydrangeas in the garden. There's one on the porch I need to move because it doesn't like the strong wind. And the 2 that I moved out here last year, they didn't survive. I kind of pushed it on the water. They want more water. So anyways, the 2 that didn't survive out here, I need to weed this, and I need to get the 2 hydrangeas. They're not limelights. There's like the standard that have the blue or the, oh, there's a hummingbird at the feeder. They're the standard, the blue or pink, depending on the pH of the soil, but that's okay. It's going to be a cottage garden anyways. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. So thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do so and share the video, all the good stuff. And have a wonderful week. I'll see you in next week's video. Remember to always be kind and do what makes you happy.